Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about the Dungeons & Dragons 2023 Spring OGL 1.1 Leak Firestorm Postmortem. We're going to do Postmortem on that. The event is over. Okay, the event is over, and now the question mark is, okay, we heard you. We heard all your revolution speech. OGL 1.0 creators. We heard all your revolution speech. OSR community, where's your work, right? Okay, yeah, you said D&D be gone a lot. We heard you. No, not D&D changed, not D&D preserved, not we have a different vision for D&D. We want Dungeons & Dragons gone, right? That's a bold statement, right? And there's a lot of that Twitter hashtag out there, a lot of thumbnails with D&D be gone up, right? I still can't believe it. IMMERSION got 100,000K sub button on absolutely nothing other than D&D followers, and was like, let's throw up a D&D be gone hashtag, thumbnail. That's interesting. I'm like, whoa, man, that's a bold step, right? It is absolutely astounding what's happening. What I want to talk about today is the danger of this entire OGL 1.1 leak Firestorm, the danger of it, okay? And here's the danger. This is what I think is happening, all right? This is what I'm warning you about, okay? D&D has built real things. Not one show, name-checked in 100 shows. Direct shows, including it as direct content. Shows that are indirectly about it, shows that are directly about it, okay? In addition to that, blockbuster movie franchises, okay? In addition to that, D&D canon hardbacks that will go down in history are literally in the Library of Congress, right? Just a ton of thousands of hours of joy, millions of hours of joy at physical and digital tables, right? These are real accomplishments. Dungeons & Dragons is a real load-bearing wall. And the OGL 1.0 is saying, hey, you guys, all this is going to be super easy to reproduce. The OGL 1.0 copiers, the OSR community copiers, retro clones and derivative works, all these creators who've done nothing but derivative works in the future are going to be able to do this global scale, no problem. Trust and believe, right? And what they're saying is, let's tear it down. Let's tear down Dungeons & Dragons. And what I'm telling you is, you best stop for a minute. Okay? I know it's easy to tear things down. Destruction is incredibly easy. But do you want to destroy a thing before you replaced it? The OGL 1.0 creators, with all their derivative copy energy, right? The OSR community, with all their derivative copy energy, ain't shown you nothing, right? So they're saying, let's tear it down before they've built anything to replace it, and before they have proven in any possible way that they have any ability to replace it. And you're saying, Scott, and I get this all the time, people come in the comments like, Scott, why are you saying what no one else is saying? Because I've seen it before. I know the history, and I know the connections, and I know the relationships. And I want you to listen very carefully. Okay, I've seen this before. The agnostics and the atheists. They're like, look over there. Look at that church with the steeple. Look at them, right? We say they're wrong. Tear it down. And they did. Boy, did they. They tore it down, right? There are thousands of churches that the agnostics and the atheists' hate energy was able to push out of existence, right? And they're gone. And guess what? Oh, the orphans aren't flowing out of the orphanages as quickly. Oh, there's no new hospitals being created. Oh, the food drives. Oh, the food drives. Where are those? Oh, all that infrastructure that aided the family, right? The few husbands, the few wives were like, maybe put down the bottle and go to Sunday school. Oh my gosh, the agnostics and the atheists produced jack all nothing. They tore it down before they could prove they were going to place it, and ain't nobody going, you know what, we tore all those churches down, they're all went out of business, they're all shuttered now. right? Not virtual, not a literal teardown, but a virtual teardown. They're all shuttered now. Oh, and the agnostics and the atheists, they totally replaced it. They're all helping all these families find structure and love and tolerance. Oh, yeah. Oh, and absolutely, there's all these new atheist hospitals, and the atheists are just pulling kids out of those orphanages just as fast as Christians ever did. Wow, the agnostics and the atheists have totally replaced the church. You hear anybody saying that? You hear anybody saying that? No. They tore down a structure they didn't understand. They tore down a structure they did not understand the value of, and they replaced it with a wasteland. And no one is saying that the agnostics and the atheists are putting up new hospitals and emptying the orphanages and giving families encouragement and giving them something to believe in and hope for. And the agnostics and atheists were successful in tearing down this structure that they didn't understand and they didn't value and replacing it with an empty, dusty wasteland. And that's what's coming for Dungeons and Dragons, right? A bunch of people who never valued it, never understood it, right? And that's my entire channel. I've been telling you for 3 years, you have, probably 4 now, you have no idea what Dungeons and Dragons is. There's an old proverb, like, it's not even in the Bible. It's just a saying. It's like, if you don't know what that fence is for, don't tear it down, because you don't know what it's keeping back, right? Like, and that's where we're at. You don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is. You don't know what you're tearing down. You do not understand the loss that we are going to have, right? And I'm telling you, look carefully. These OGL 1.0, you are literally attaching your hopes and beliefs to an already loser. Paizo is an already dusted and done loser, right? Pathfinder is an already dusted and done loser. Pathfinder 2 wasn't even good enough for Cody over on Talking 20. It's going to be good enough for your table? I don't think so, right? Like, that dude's at the bottom of the tier on D&D commentary, right? And he was like, oh, Pathfinder isn't even good enough for me. Pathfinder is not going to replace Dungeons and Dragons. And this OGL 1.0 creator energy and this OSR community energy saying D&D be gone. Let's tear Dungeons and Dragons down. Let's make sure we sweep away the rubble, right? I could promise you, right? I can't promise you, because I'm learning, right? We don't forever promise, right? Like, if somebody was like, hey, Scott, didn't you make a forever promise to your wife? Like, caught that in the comments. No, I promise until death do we part. I would love to be married to my wife forever, but the Bible says we're no longer married when we hit heaven, right? Even God's like, your marriage problem wasn't forever. It's still death do you part, right? Like, there's a limit, like, so it's incredible, right? And so the reality is, this is what I'm telling you, man, do not get swept up in the noise, right? OGL 1.0 creators and the OSR community have proven nothing except that they can shout and put flames in the air, right? Yeah, they're great at destruction. We've seen that, right? Are they good at building? I've never seen anything to tell me that the OGL 1.0 creators or the OSR community are good at anything. Retro clones and derivative works, you gonna put your hopes and faith on that? I don't think so, right? Like, I know the value of Dungeons & Dragons. I don't want it to be gone. I want it to be here, right? D&D be here, right? And I am certainly not going to tear down an incredibly beneficial structure for hopes and dreams, for wisps of smoke. Everything the OGL creators have is wisps of smoke. Their leaks were wisps of smoke. Their promises are wisps of smoke. Don't tear down a standing, functioning building that is bringing benefits to memory for empty promises. Don't do it. Don't do it. Every single word of that is my humble opinion. I'm very eager to hear your humble opinion when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing and have a wonderful millennium.